Okay. All right, third grade, we are here ready to answer questions for chapter 13. The title of the chapter was Money Worries, and we are going to do question number 3. All right, so open your packet, find question number 3. All right, here we go. Do you think Mr. Popper's idea will be successful, and why? All right, this is a do you think? This is everybody's answer is going to be different for this one. This is your opinion, okay? Whether you think his idea is going to be successful, and then why or why not would it be successful. So a great way to start would be I think Mr. Popper's idea, and then you've got to finish it, will or will not be successful, and then tell us why. Okay, if you need to pause the video to finish your answer, you can do that. And then when you unpause, we're going to go down to the vocabulary. All right, down at the bottom, our vocabulary words. We have appear, costumes, portable, and trained. All right, you know, Mrs. K always likes to start with one that I know I can answer, and I'm going to start with costumes. Okay, we know what costumes are. Okay, are they A, show or be seen? B, performs skills or tricks? C, performance outfits? Or D, able to be moved easily? And if you were thinking C, you are correct. Those are the outfits. Costumes are outfits that they wear for performances. All right, so we're going to put C. Cross that one off. All right. Appear, portable, or trained? All right. If somebody is training for something, like he trained the penguins, he trained them to what? Perform tricks and skills. So trained is going to be B. All right. Appear. If you were thinking A, show or be seen, you are correct. So that one is going to be A, which means portable is going to be D, able to be moved easily. Okay, so you should have A, C, D, B. If you need to pause, you can pause it. Then you can turn your page and get ready for chapter 14. Okay, here we are, chapter 14. This chapter was called Mr. Greenbaum, and we are going to answer number 2. Okay, so find number 2. What name did Mr. Greenbaum want to give the Penguin Act? Why did Mr. Popper say no? So this is a 2-part question. We have 2 questions to answer. Question 1, what name did Mr. Greenbaum want to give the Penguin Act? Mrs. K is going to shorten it down. He wanted to name the Penguin Act Popper's pink-toed penguins. Okay, so he wanted to name the Penguin Act Popper's pink, and then there's a pink-toed penguins. Okay, that's only part number 1. We still have to say why Mr. Popper said no to that. Did he like that idea? He did not. And remember, he didn't like it because he said it would make them look like a girls' act or a group of ballerina dancers. Okay, so he did not like that idea. So he said, Mr. Popper said that name made them sound like a chorus girl act or a group of ballerinas. You know, pink toes, pink ballerinas have pink slippers that they wear. Okay, a group of ballet dancers. I said I was going to shorten it down and it ended up being longer. Ballet dancers. All right, if you need to pause the video to get your answer, you can do that. And then after you unpause, we're going to go down to the vocabulary. Okay, gotta move Mrs. K up a little bit. Okay, our words for chapter 14 are complaints, fare, passengers, refused. Our definitions are A, costs to ride a bus or train, B, people riding a bus or train, C, unwilling to do something, or D, saying something isn't right. Okay, Mrs. K always starts with one that I know that I can answer, and I'm going to go with passengers. If you are a passenger on something, you are the person that is riding in it. Okay, whether you're a passenger on a train, a passenger on a bus, or on a plane, okay, you are the people riding a bus or train. So passenger is going to be B. And then I'm going to cross off B because I used that one. All right, A, cost to ride a bus or train. Do you know which that one is called, what that's called? If you were thinking fare, you are right, okay? The bus fare was 50 cents. The train fare was $1 to ride, okay? Unwilling to do something, is that complaints or refused? If you're unwilling to do something, you are refusing to do it. So C is going to be refused. And we're going to cross that one off. And then D, saying something isn't right, is a complaint. So that's going to be D at the top. Okay.
Please excuse the interruption. If there are any students who need to have their picture retaken.
All right, so your answers are going to be D, A,
Again, any
B,
student that needs their pictures
C.
Retaken, please report to the LGI.
All right, if you need to pause it, you can go ahead and pause it and get your answers on the lines. And then turn the page to get to chapter 15. All right, here we are, ready to answer the questions for chapter 15 called Popper's Performing Penguins. And we are going to answer number 3. Okay, so find number 3. What agreement did Mr. Greenbaum make with Mr. Popper? Do you remember? What was their agreement? How much was he going to pay Mr. Popper for his penguin performance? Yeah, it was a big number. All right, so Mr. Greenbaum will pay $5,000 a week. Okay? for 10 weeks total. So they have to perform for 10 weeks and they're going to get $5,000 a week. Okay? It's a little glare from my lights. All right, you can pause it if you need to. Then when you unpause it, we're going to do the vocabulary. All right, down at the bottom, our words are applauded, audience, rehearse, and unique. All right, we have A, practice, B, people watching a performance, C, unlike others, and D, clapped. All right, so Mrs. K is going to pick one that I know that I can answer quickly, and it's going to be applauded. When you applaud something, you are clapping because you liked it. So that is going to be D. All right. A, practice. Is practice going to be audience, rehearse, or unique? You're right. It's rehearse. So A would go under rehearse. People watching a performance. Is that an audience or unique? It is an audience. And then we are left with unlike others. If you're unlike someone, you are unique in your own special way. So it is going to be C, unique. So you should have D, B, A, C. Pause it if you need to, and then turn the page and get ready for chapter 16. All right, here we are, our last chapter to do the questions, chapter 16, called On the Road. And we are going to do number 1. Number 1. Here we go. Describe what happened on the way to the train station. Do you remember what happened? It was a little bit of a chaos. Okay, there was lots of things happening. First of all, Mr. Popper had to call for a second cab. So, Mr. Popper had to call for a second cab or taxi. That's what that is, okay? He had to call for a second cab because they didn't fit in one cab. Okay? But then what happened? Yep, they got into a little accident. So they bumped into each other. And the fender, the fender got torn off. Yeah, there was a little accident, and then they were almost late for the train. Okay, so Mr. Popper had to call for a second cab because they didn't fit in one cab, and then they bumped into each other, and the fender got torn off. So if you need to pause it to finish your answer, and when you unpause, we'll do the questions. All right, here we go. All right, so our words for this chapter, and this is funny, this is births, ecstatic, herd, and platform. So Mrs. K is going to go with herd, this kind of herd, H-E-R-D, and I know that that is a large group of animals. It is not very excited, a fixed bed on a train or ship, or a raised area where people stand. Okay, so it is going to be a large group of animals. All right, B, very excited. If you're very excited, is that births, ecstatic, or platform? Yeah, you are ecstatic about it if you are very excited. So that is going to be B, ecstatic. A fixed bed on a train or ship. Yeah, that's this one here, berths. All right, so that's going to be C. And then a platform is a raised area where people stand. So you should have C, B, A, D. Pause it if you need to. And then Mrs. K will see you next week for our last chapters of the book.